Alright, so today we're taking a look at the Object 140. This thing here was added fairly recently, and today I'll be taking it out for a quick drive. Now what this thing basically is a T-55A with a bit more armor and a bit better of a gun. The armor is mostly better because the thickness of the armor is actually the same. It's both 100 millimeters, but it's angled a bit more at 65 degrees instead of 59. So you have a bit more effective armor here. Does it really matter? Not really. Sometimes you do get lucky and survive some shots, but mostly at this BR you face heat and APDS and stuff who will go through your front plate regardless. I guess another cool aspect is that your turret is a bit more armored, but I think what's more important is the gun that this thing has. It has same 100mm gun, but with a bit more, I guess, penetration. It goes up to 290mm here on the AP or the APHG, whereas on the normal T-55 it only goes to 240, so you gain 50mm of penetration at the cost of 1 second on your reload. So you do reload a bit slower. You also got a KPVT, which is actually quite useful against lightly armored targets. You also get quite a lot of ammo with it as well, so that's also another plus. And yeah, overall it's a pretty nice tank. Alright, but anyway, let's actually start talking about the game that's playing here in the background, or I guess now in the foreground. I'm playing the Object 140 here on Finland, and what I've done here is gone to the eye here on the map to, I guess, secure the A point from anybody, but it looks like my friendly team kind of already got there. Beforehand, I did kill 2 people earlier. One, what was it, M56, and one, I think it was a Bradley or something, I forgot. Basically, I was able to kill it with the KPVT, so it's a really good, useful thing to have. One thing that I don't really know about the KPVT is why they always mounted it on their like prototype tanks, but not on a production tank. I guess on the T-10M they did mount it, but don't really know of any other production tanks where they actually mounted the thing as a machine gun for the loader or whatever. Most of the time it's just as a standalone SBA or stuff like that, or they replaced it with the NSVT or whatever it's called. But anyway, stuff aside, right now I'm gonna try and climb up this hill here, and you can see that there's a guy up there. And one thing you do have to really be careful if you do decide to go kind of up here to flank the enemies is that there's always somebody either watching from a high ground, so always keep an eye out to see if there's anybody there. I'm gonna try and push up now. As you can see, the G6 that was with us earlier has unfortunately died. This is because, well, there's a mouse right behind that corner. Now, the mouse, I'm not sure if I can actually pen this thing, maybe through the lower plate, but you know what? I don't really want to test that. Right now, you can kind of see me move my turret side to side because I hear a light tank next to us, but I don't really know what its goal is or where it wants to go. But just to be safe, I'll get rid of the mouse's track right there so that I don't really have to deal with 2 people at once. And it looks like the fox just straight left as well. And you know what? I respect that decision because I don't really want to be in a 2v1 situation either, or a 2v something where one guy has the high ground. So you know what? I think I'll just leave with him because I don't really feel like being here either. Don't really want to have a staring contest with a mouse either. So there we go. We'll just leave. It'll probably be important later on in the video, but regardless, right now it looks like the enemy has actually captured the A point. So we might as well go back there where we have a pretty good view on the point to be able to destroy any enemies. Alright, there we go. We were going to cut to where I've actually made it to the eye again. Unfortunate M41, though. It's probably the same guy that I heard. Most likely. I don't know. It would be really funny if it was. But regardless, we can hear that there's a lot of people kind of right around this corner right here, but I'm not really too, I guess, pushy right now, just because 2 people there. It sounds like there's 2 people there, so I don't really feel like moving up there. And I also feel like there's always somebody behind me. It could just be me being, schizophrenic or something, but there will be eventually somebody popping up there, so my intuition wasn't exactly too incorrect. And you should always keep an eye out, or keep an ear out in this case, for people behind you, because you never really know. If there's no friendlies there, assume that there may be someone there, is a good way of thinking about it. Anyway, now that they're getting engaged, I'm just going to start moving up now. The Sheridan right there, he kind of looked dead there, that's why I didn't shoot him. And now that I realize that he is dead, I only get his commander, or his transmission actually. So an assist is an assist though, so that's good. I'm gonna decap the point now because why not? And while I'm doing so, I'm actually going to yeah, use the KPVT here. Gonna get bombed there for a second. But yeah, we're just gonna kind of keep an eye out, keep an ear out, most importantly, and you can actually hear the guy there. So I'm gonna machine gun him, put him on the map. The Falcon kind of notices me, or notices me shooting, and he starts engaging whatever tank is over there. So yeah, it really is that easy to work with your team. Does help you occasionally. So yeah, don't forget to do that. If you do hear someone, mark it on the map, and you know, watch out on the map as well for any friendly pings, because in the end, you know, you both kind of want to win the game. Regardless, now that I'm done here, I'm gonna move up a bit, and you know, it's gonna be all fun and games until I hear a tank behind here. So I'm gonna, unfortunately, not really point him out. Oh no, I do point him out here on the map for that Falcon there, but unfortunately, yeah. Oh, I got bombed there. But he does shoot the Falcon there. That's yeah, not too great. So I'm just going to get rid of his lower plate there. Almost hit the front plate there. May have not penned if I did that, but luckily I aimed just about enough to be able to hit him. I do hear the mouse behind me now, so I'm going to point him out on the map just so that everyone knows he's there. I'm going to reverse here, which isn't exactly too smart, as I found out when a 262 strafes me. Although in that case it probably wouldn't have mattered where my turret was facing. Anyway, let's cut back to now where I'm in the normal T-55. Yak Tiger there, fully side on, APHE, yeah, no question. I mean, that's quite an easy kill. You do still hear the mouse to my right though. And also I hit an automat that just kind of appeared there. Gonna kind of blind fire on him, which is pretty lucky, but also pretty cool. So yeah, that's that. And right now I'm going to try and push this mouse here, and you can see that his turret kind of turned. Not too great. And his barrel is still up, so I'm just going to quickly get rid of that, kind of graze it with the round there. It does actually get rid of it. And I'm actually going to load some APHE, oh no, APDS here, just to whittle down his crew. There we go. Just get rid of that, quickly dodge that shot there, and we'll just try and reload another round here. Hits the rock again, we'll get rid of his gunner and loader. And then we'll just have to wait for another crew member to replace the gunner, and then we'll just finish him off just like that. I could have maybe even shot his ammo there if I were brave enough, but I didn't really feel like it. Would have rather done something more safe like that. And there we go, he's dead. Well, just like that, we get another kill in a premium vehicle. I'm admittedly not in the Object 140 anymore, so maybe you guys can criticize me for being a clickbait YouTuber or whatever, but in this video I'm going to show more lineups because I don't really do that well in the Object 140. Anyway, I'm going to hit that 262 there. It's going to be important later on. And unfortunately, because I was distracted with that 262, I non-pen on a martyr. Yeah, I don't know. Was that supposed to happen? I have no clue. But anyway, what happens now is he gets my track. Not too great, and he does kind of expose his, so I only really have a choice to get rid of that, because if I don't, he's going to start sending a lot of ATGMs. And I do actually hear a helicopter here as well. Very, very lucky shot on him. But it does get him, so that's good. And unfortunately now, the plane kind of gets my other track. So I have to repair for a longer time now, and also that guy gets my engine, and we're going to be stationary here for a bit long. We like to try to use the flamethrower against him. Sadly, it doesn't really like detonate the ATGM or something. But unfortunately, it looks like he does manage to eventually curve one around the corner to ammo rack me there. So it's not too great. Luckily, I do still have two other tanks here. Normal T-55 and the Object 906. I'm going to use the 906 here because it's a really good endgame vehicle. You do get strafed, or you're fairly vulnerable to planes, but you're really fast, you have a really short reload, and you can do some really nice clutches with this thing if you do have it. So I do recommend not skipping this vehicle, even if it is foldered, just because it's really, really good, especially with APHE, and it's very fast reload. Anyway, made it behind the enemy team now. Gonna quickly get rid of that M60 AOS, just like that. He has no clue I'm there. You know, I've kind of appeared behind him. This thing also has a really silent engine. So yeah, that's another cool thing about this tank. Anyway, you can see that the 262 that I shot earlier becomes relevant again. Very nice. And there we go, there's a martyr and a mouse. Unfortunately, I shot the martyr there because I thought it was an easier kill, but turns out the mouse was just as easy, so that's very nice. And you can see now that I can actually spawn in a nuke. But before I actually do that, I'm gonna first get on the point so that it's decapped at the very least. And what I'm also going to do is pop some ESS, because then the plane can't really strafe me as quickly or as easily. And you know, it's a bit important to still survive, even if you do spawn in a nuke, just because you can still die in it, and then you're kind of screwed. But anyway, let's go in here. Sadly, you still to get full fuel, so you're a bit slow. But regardless, let's just skip here on to later in the game, and you can see that friendly T-55 is escorting me here. Very nice of him. I'm not sure if it's too useful though, since I am faster, but you know what? It's the effort that counts. And unfortunately, this game ends before I can actually drop the nuke. So yeah, there's that. But do I get a lot of score, and I also get this, I guess there's a new award for not being able to drop the nuke, so that's cool. And in the end, I get something like 200,000 surflights, so that's pretty nice. Alright, for my next game, I'm here on Sun City, and what's behind this corner? Oh, looks, yeah, just like that, when you always go around this corner, if you're going to the sea point, always look behind this corner if you have a stabilizer, even if you don't, actually, because sometimes there's a guy there, and most of the time, you're better at shooting them. So yeah, that's that. Anyway, I'm gonna try and just quickly capture the zone here before anybody else gets here, just so that I get some silver lines, and then I'll get back on the move. Or so I thought, because now there seems to be another guy here. So we'll just quickly get rid of him like that, and yeah, that wasn't really too big of a competition. You do see that there's a term 3 somewhere behind me here, which is why I kind of start looking over there, because one of my friendlies died. He's going to get important later on. But yeah, safe to say, he's definitely a very big threat towards this thing, just because he has a 4-second reload, is really fast. And yeah, he's overall just quite a big menace, I'll put it that way. Anyway, now I'm going to try and just listen around, and you can hear that there's actually a light tank right over behind this corner where the looks was. So I'm going to push there, and oh no, what happened? Well, I think you guys already know, but yeah, term 3 magically appeared behind me. Never really heard him, never really seen him, but yeah, he kind of just does that. Unfortunate. I would have thought that I would have heard him, but I guess that didn't happen. So anyway, I'm gonna respawn here in a backup, and you can see that same term 3 just killed one of my friendlies. Vertical aim is terrible, luckily, so is his, so I do manage to get rid of him there, even if my APHE doesn't actually trigger on his tank, which is certainly very interesting. But anyway, I'll just get back on the move to the sea point now, and I kind of already know that there's somebody behind this corner, so boop, there we go. We'll just get rid of him, and then go capture the point again, hopefully not be disturbed by anybody. Well, looks like the disturbance arrived. It's a mouse, again. The mouse is actually quite an easy tank to deal with. Usually you just have to shoot the barrel, or shoot the barrels plural, because sometimes multiple of them can be a bit of an issue depending on what tank you're in. Right now he's looking almost perfectly at me, so I'll just shoot his cheek. There we go. APHE does go through, doesn't really do a lot of HE, but it does get his secondary breach, so at least he won't be using both guns now. And kind of just move over here, try and get to his other cheek. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Shoot it right over there, and it does actually go through, but it looks like all his gunners were dead or something. Regardless, my friendly finished though, so I do get an assist in the end. Alright, well, another bit of a push right here, bit of a shot right there, and another T-32 is dead. Sadly, it's another player, or a different player from last time, so it's not as funny, but you know, still a very easy kill on a side shot. What I'm going to try and do now is actually get on the bridge that's between, kind of over the track, so I'll show you right about now. Although, yeah, I guess I am on the bridge now, and I'm actually looking behind me because I hear somebody there. With Kugelblitz, not exactly the most dangerous, but he can still knock out your engine and immobilize you, so he's still quite a big threat. And there's also some other scouted marker right here, so I'm going to try and shoot down the trees here. Unfortunately, you can't really do that in this game. So yeah, we're going to have to move up a bit more. A bit looking over to the right there, because that's where their spawn is. So you should always at least have that area in your eyesights. quite frequently, actually, if you're planning to stay here. And there we go, notice some tanks there, they notices me. And we trade shots, so he gets my track. There's another mouse next to him. And this thing actually gets a rangefinder, unlike the T-55s. So you can actually dial their ranges in pretty quickly, which is nice. Got rid of that M48 there that mouse fired, but unfortunately I don't notice the T-34 there fast enough, so I do end up exploding. Right, well, I did actually spawn in a TO-55, but I died. That didn't really do anything interesting, which is why I'm in the 906 now, the clutch machine, as I like to call it. There we go, Tiger there. Not really a big threat, this thing's really fast, so you can get to these positions really quickly, even after you've died. And yeah, you can do funny stuff like that. I'm gonna try and move here up onto the same bridge again, and this time you can see that a Jumbo Sherman is coming out of their spawn. Not ideal because this thing has absolutely no gun depression, and as far as I know it doesn't have a hydropneumatic suspension either. So you can't really engage people who are below you, so I'm just gonna wait. This thing has a really silent engine, so you can sneak up on people really nicely. So that's what I'm going to do right now, actually. But not before I actually spot that guy over there. Gonna quickly scout him, but unfortunately he goes behind building, so I can't get him. And sooner or later, I'll actually notice another tank there. Looks like it's an XM800. Gotta quickly get rid of that. Very, very dangerous towards me. And then I'll just quickly finish off the Jumbo, just like that. So yeah, I mean, after this the game kind of takes down, so nothing really interesting happens in the end. I do get something like anyway, hopefully you have enjoyed this video here. Admittedly a bit more dry, I didn't really get any too crazy games in this thing. I mean, I don't really have any crazy games. My stats in it are pretty decent, so yeah, there's that. Is it worth your money though? I don't know. I mean, at this tier, as far as I know, it's a GE premium if I'm not wrong. You also have the T-55 AM, which I find is very, very fun, especially paired with the AMD, wherever it is. Here we go. So I mean, if you have the choice between these two, honestly, I kind of like the AM better. Also because it has a shorter reload. If we go check it out, it has 7.5 seconds on an ace crew. That's ace, actually, that's not too represented. It has an 8-second reload. And on the 140 you have a 9-second reload. So I always prefer to reload a bit quicker. Of course, that's more maybe down to personal preference. The T-55, you also have more, I guess, diversity in terms of armament. So I really like this thing more. But in the end, it's up to you. Maybe you have a better 8-3 lineup or something. You know, you want to play the T-10M or something, by all means. But at 8-7, you arguably have a better lineup. So I'd actually recommend T-55 AM over the 140. Anyway, that does it for me today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye!